What's up, y'all? Welcome to Snatch Chat, where I'm here to help you lose fat, but not your mind. I am Tiffany, certified personal trainer, nutrition specialist, and your body snatcher. And today we're going to talk about something that I feel isn't talked about enough, and that is how recovery methods actually help your results and the effects of not partaking in recovery. Okay, so recovery is just as important as doing the work. I do find that a lot of people get really wound up into the routines and the exercise and they want to get it in and all that. And by the time they're done, a lot of times people don't feel like doing any recovery stuff. They just want to get the work in. So today I'm going to talk about exactly the three main things that you should be doing and how they help your actual fat loss results. And then I'm going to give specific guidelines for each thing. Okay, so that's what we're talking about today. But before we get into that, make sure you go down to the description and get your free 3 workouts. Okay, very high fat burn, all that good stuff, and any other special resources that I have down there for you. Check them all out. Okay, so oh yeah, and like I always say, this is a chat, so I do have my notes right in front of me. I will be looking to the right a little bit. I think I'm going to figure out a better system for this, but for right now, I have my notes so that I can hit every single thing. So just know that that is part of the deal, okay? And then last, I will say just subscribe to the channel. I do put out a video every week. Okay, so let me just peek at my board. So I already said that recovery is very important, and I just do want to stress that it is just as important as doing the actual work. Okay, everything flows together. Okay, so you want to be taking care of your body and not just straining your body. And to be clear, when you are working out, you are tearing muscle. So in order to, minimize the effects of that, which could be soreness and all of that other stuff, or even worse, actual damage to yourself, you do need to have recovery methods in place. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the 3. Okay, so I think that I hit all of that, so I will get into number 1, and that is fueling. Okay, like actual fuel, Fuel. And I have 2 specific ones. So one is water and the other is protein. Okay, so these two work in different ways. So the protein I'll tackle first. So protein is what is the only fuel, the only thing you intake into your body, okay, that is going to actually affect repairing your muscles. Okay, everything else you eat, carbs, water, all of that, they are good for your muscles, but protein is the number one thing that you need. Okay, so when you do any strength training, you want to be sure that you are eating protein, and I know you probably already know this because it's talked about a lot. Everyone kind of focuses on protein. A lot of times people are getting more protein than they need, but it is stressed for a reason, and it's because it really is that important. Okay, and then on the water front, water is a replenishing system in itself. So our bodies are made mostly of water already. So just replenishing yourself is going to be a good thing. But as far as fat loss goes, it is directly what I call the miracle worker, the miracle pill, if you will. Okay, so when everybody wants such a quick fix with everything, water is one of the few things that is a quick fix for weight loss, if you really want to look at it that way, because it is very filling. You drink it, you're full, and there's 0 calories. So just by drinking a lot more water, you're going to find that you're not going to be eating, as much as you probably do on a regular basis. So it's really great for calorie control, which of course is the basis for losing weight and fat. Okay, so the specific guidelines I have for this is that, so with protein, a lot of people who are super active, there are different like guidelines, but a very accepted one is that for every pound of your body, you can eat 0.7 grams of protein. Okay, so This is a generally good and accepted one, and I'm okay with it. Some people go all the way up to 1 gram per pound of body weight. I would say that's pushing it for some people though, because if you are, 250 pounds, that's 250. If you use the 1 gram, you know, formula, you're going to be eating 250 grams of protein, which is a lot. You really don't need that much. So percentages is always a good thing, but I would say that the point 0.7 or even 0.5, depending on your weight, is a good way to go. And I will just say, as a side note, that, for me personally, I just kind of base it around what kind of day I'm having. So if I am having a strength training day and a day where I'm really active, I will go on the higher end of the protein. Otherwise, I'm okay with it being a little lower. Okay. And then as far as water goes, you want to be drinking at least half of your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you're striving for 100 ounces of water a day. What I would like to very, very much point out though is that you should not go from 8 ounces of water. If you're one of those people that does not drink water, do not force yourself to do a gallon a day challenge, okay? These kinds of things are too extreme, so you just work your way up into it. So if you're doing 8 ounces now, make a goal for 16 ounces every day, and then once you can, focus on that and you can tackle it and you can master it, then you move on to like 24 ounces and you work your way up from there, okay? But no drastic changes. Drastic equals retracting and going back on everything that you work for, because the more extreme an action is, the more likely you are not to complete it. Okay, so those are the two. I believe I got all the points for that. Yes, 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 and yes. Okay, so number 2 is sleep. Okay, so most of us don't get enough sleep. Okay, that is just the bottom line. But sleeping is your muscles' only natural, completely natural, and long standing and long term way of recovering. Okay, so I know that, 7, 8 hours of sleep is like an anomaly for a lot of people, and we're so busy these days and all of that. But I do want to point out that, you should be making sleep a priority. Of course, if you're, sleepy all the time because you're not getting enough sleep, it has a huge effect on your energy levels. And so clearly, the less energy you have, the less likely you are to want to work out and to do the things that are best for you. So that is just a common sense kind of like direct link, okay? And the more you work out, clearly the more you're going to burn calories and the more you are going to lose weight. Okay, so sleep is a really underrated one. And I think that, people kind of, sweep it under the rug that there's so much other stuff to do. But I do really suggest that you make that a priority. And, I would say the standard 7 to 8 hours is ideal. I think it has been proven that everyone doesn't need that. Like some people can thrive okay on 6 hours, maybe even 5. 5 seems a little pushy to me. You can tell me if you're like bouncing off the walls and great at 5 hours of sleep. I have family members that swear that they don't need that much sleep. So, if it works for you, okay. But, ideally you want to go for the 7 to 8 hours. Okay. So, I think that was the only point for that. And then, oh yeah, and then I just put that, in the end, it's tied into what I already said. But, having energy leads to doing more, which also is a counteraction to having your metabolism increase so that you're burning more throughout the day as well. So I always just like to make it clear that the action is what kind of ties into your metabolism, and a lot of it has to do with lean mass and, accumulating muscle mass over fat mass. And in order to do that, you have to strength train. And in order to do that, you have to be, non-fatigued and have enough energy to get it done. Okay. So that is also the direct link, just to be very clear. Okay. So the last topic, which is one of my absolute favorites, and this is the one that I would say I find to be, it's not more important than the others. Let me just go ahead and put that out there. Sleep and fuel and protein and all that is ultra important. All of these things I would say are equally as important, but one that is dear to my heart is stretching. Okay. And this I know for a fact people do not do enough of. I have witnessed it enough, and I'm very, very clear that people don't do it. Before I did online training, I did work at a gym and I paid attention, and people always skip out on the stretching. And if they do it, it's only 2 minutes. It's very, quick and rushed. And this goes for even classes. So like when you do workout classes, you'll always find that, at the end of the class, they will only spend like 1 or 2 minutes on the stretching part, and then they might tell you to go and stretch on your own, but sometimes they don't even do that. So it really is a underrated and underutilized thing. And the reason I do also know a lot about it is because, other than personal training, I'm also a specialist in stretching. So I physically stretch people for, in person. It's coronavirus right now, so that's not really, I don't know if that's ever coming back. I mean, right now, there's none of that going on, but I do stretch people, and I'm very, very clear about it. So it is one of the best things. One of the best things you can do for your results. And the reason is that your muscles, as I said, you are just tearing them. You're tearing them when you are working out. And so my favorite concept is tear and repair. Okay. So the only ways that you can directly, take care of your muscles after a workout, or even, a little after a workout or before, is your stretching, and then also protein right after the strength training as well. I didn't mention that, but you should try to get your protein in right away as soon as you can after the workout. But back on the stretching, your stretching is going to be one of the most important things, and it's the only thing that directly releases stress from your muscles. So you have to utilize it. Okay. Let me see what other points I have. And I also just want to reiterate that, stretching is a treat. So, a lot of times you don't feel like it because it's like you want to just do the workout, you want to be done, and then by the time you're done with everything, you don't want to spend any other time, doing anything. But what you will find is once you do take the time to just do the stretch, no one ever regrets doing the stretch, right? It feels good. You feel relieved afterwards. So yes, mustering up the energy, or the want, really the want to do it, might be a little bit of a challenge, but once you do it, there's never a regret. And I know this for a fact because I actually offer stretch videos in my Snatch Sessions program on top of the strength training videos, because I know is a good thing, and I knew it was going to be a great addition. But what I find is that a lot of people are telling me that they can't believe how much they like stretching, and that the stretching has been one of the favorite parts of the actual program because they feel more flexible. They're not as sore when they're, finishing the routines and all of that. So I just really want to drive it home that stretching is something that you have to do. Okay. And then for guidelines on that, I just have that you should do it. And I would strive for at least 5 minutes after every workout. If you can, even longer. So like the stretch videos that I do, they're usually targeted for different things, but if you can find like a really good full body one, you know, just to do, then, 5 minutes will be sufficient, but the longer the better. And if you can do it multiple times throughout the week on top of just after your workouts, that's even better. Okay, you will find that you'll be a lot more flexible, and what that does is it prepares you for your next workout. So that's what all this is doing. So the recovery and the stretching is getting your muscles repaired so that when you do the next routine, your body is ready and you can take on the load. Okay, so that's how it directly ties into your results and your fat loss. Okay, so I think that is it. I got all three in. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So my action steps is that I want you to do some stretching. That's the first to start. Matter of fact, just off the top of my head, I think I'm going to add a stretch video to the description that you can do. Yeah, I will do that. I will find one and just put it as a little bonus as well, so you can do a little stretch. Why not, right? So I will put a freebie in there from my Snatch Sessions program. So do the stretch video that I'm gonna put down there. You can also do the workout. I'll leave that there too. But do the stretch videos. And yeah, and that's it. So just start with that. Water, all of the other things you should also do as well. So I would say you can just increase a little bit of something, but if you want to, for results, since I, like to give it people bite-size, tasks, I would say start with extra stretching and then try to tackle another one after that. So after you're in a routine of stretching, or you can just add a little bit of water and just increase a little bit on the other stuff as well. The sleep, all of it's super important. So do what you can on all of them. But if you're one of those people that you're like, stop, don't overwhelm me with like 5 new things to do. I get it. So I would say just start really paying attention to your flexibility and your stretching. Okay, so that is it for the day. Hopefully you found this stuff helpful. I think in the future I'm going to do a video on my favorite tools for recovery, some, good things that you can do, and maybe even do, I don't know, some other kind of, stretch specific stuff. But let me know if you're interested in that. You can comment and let me know how you feel about that. Let me know if you stretch in general, and if you feel that you're flexible and that you're, good and how you are on all the topics that we talked about today. Other than that, make sure you subscribe, get all of your freebies in the description. Other than that, eat well, be well, take care of yourself, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time.